Welcome back. Hey, we are ready for another wonderful dorky lesson from Mr. Bellamy. So, if you have your skates, you don't really need skates to work on this, but we are going to work on it here in my gym. So, we're going to do a little bit of field hockey with some skates on. If you don't have skates, then you're fine. You're going to need a hockey stick. If you don't have a hockey stick, you might be able to get away with a pool noodle to just kind of to work as, or we'll see if we can come up with some way to make something that'll work. A hockey puck, or if you don't have a hockey puck, this is a semi-hockey puck, half ball, half puck. Or you might have a field hockey ball. And if you don't have any of that, hopefully you at least have a tennis ball because they come in handy for everything. And if you're lucky, you have one that smiles at you too. So grab your equipment. First thing we're going to do is stand up. So what you're going to do, remember you go to your knees, one hand on your leg. You're going to push up, get a nice T stance. Just scoot back a little bit for you. A nice T stance, that's going to give you a good base. Just to make sure you got your feet underneath you if it's been a while since you skated. So once you get there, then you're going to start picking up your equipment. All right, so you're standing up now. So now we're going to get our hockey stick. Now the main thing we need to do is remember we're going to hold on to the shaft part, the blade part. This is the blade. So that part is always going to stay down towards the ground. So we're going to keep that on the ground or towards the ground, no higher than our knees. So right now, you should not see the blade because you can just barely see my knees, and you should not see the blade. Anything I'm doing, you should not be able to see it because that would be unsafe for me to have that up, because anytime we bring it up, we risk the chance of hitting one of our classmates in the face. Since you've seen hockey, they wear all this equipment. We are not playing a real game of hockey. We are just working on some skills. So we do not have the equipment. So we're going to keep our stick and our blade onto the ground, keep the shaft in our hands. The way you're going to hold your hockey stick is, if you're right-handed like me, you're going to hold your left hand at the very top of it. Don't hold it down low. You want to hold the very top. Not quite over the tip of it, but the top of it. And you want your other hand pretty much about a third of the way down the shaft, unless you're getting ready to do a slap shot, which we are not doing in here. So then you'll shift your hand down further as you bring the stick up. But we're not doing the slap shot in here at no time should I see that, because that would break our rule of going above our knee. So we're going to keep first of all, we're going to keep the stick down, and we're just going to practice skating a little bit with the stick down. So our first thing we'll do is we're just going to skate a little bit back and forth, just keeping that stick, just practicing, keeping the stick in front of us. We're leaning forward a little bit. We're not leaning on the stick. We're not digging it on the ground. If you look at the blade, so you notice the blade, I'm trying to keep the blade on the ground, so I'm going to have to bend down a little bit more. I don't want it up here, because if I have it up here and I have a hockey puck, I'm going to totally miss it when I try to hit. Alright, so keeping our puck down on the ground, or you have a ball. Most of us will be using a ball instead of a puck. I like the ball, it rolls a little bit more, makes you have to pay attention better. Where the puck doesn't slide as well on the floor. It slides pretty good, but it's going to be a little slower. So this one here, if you haven't used a ball, then we're just going to practice working it back, forward, back, trying to keep it in front of you. After we've done that for a little bit, we're going to try to actually push the ball forward. So what you'll do is put that in front of you, just dribble it down to the court, a little bit like that. Keeping it in front of you, just dribbling it down, back, forth, back, forth. That's it. Alright, So now that we know a little bit about how to dribble, now we're going to work on passing the ball or a puck. So we're going to use a ball just because it's going to be a little easier for me to do. There's two types of passes that we're going to work on. There's technically four, but the two that we're going to work on is, the first one is a forehand pass. So facing the puck or a ball, you got it cradled into, it's a little bit behind us. As we're moving forward, we're just going to push it. So we're just going to take our ball or our puck and we're just going to push it, and that's a forehand pass. So when I'm passing it, push it. When I'm receiving it, I'm just going to let it, just going to bring my puck back or my blade back and let it just kind of land and just gently slow it. Because if I just try to stop it, it's going to bounce away from me. So when I pass to somebody, push it, and then don't just stop it because it's just going to bounce. So push it and gently bring it to a stop. So that's the forehand pass. And our other way is a backhand. So from here, hitting, that's forehand. Here, hitting, that's a backhand. So same position, except for now I'm facing the opposite direction, and I'm going to pass it. And I just hit a bunch of my stuff I have in the way. So try that again. So backhand, push it, and again, push it, cradle, push, cradle, push, cradle. Now, you're good now. You can switch hands, go either way, hand, like this. Forehand, backhand, and make a catch. So that is how you're going to pass. Other two ways that you can pass are a lob pass, in which case you're going to get underneath it and you're going to get some height up there. We're not going to do that because we don't have protected gear, so we're not going to work on the lob pass. And the last one is a saucer pass. And the saucer pass is intended to get, so it's like the lob pass, except that you're not going to get it as high. You're just going to get it up high enough to make it over the person's hockey stick. So a saucer pass is just getting it up, trying to lift it up enough that you're going to get it up over the stick, but not into a lob pass like I just did. Neither of those two we're going to work on. We're going to basically work on four, and then Alright, so that's pretty much it for our hockey, what we're going to be working on. Remember, we're going to be safe. We're going to keep the stick down. You should not see anything. The blade should never be above your knees. You should never see anything up here. We're not doing slap shots. One that tears up my floor, tears up my equipment. So we're not walking around with a stick like this right here because we're going to end up poking ourselves or hitting somebody else with it. Blade on the ground anytime we have the stick in our hand. Got it? Let's have some fun. See you guys.